Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Budzic from CZT Sue Clark. Oh, this one caught my eye for a number of reasons. Starts off with an orb in the center. And we're going to fill that in. Then, and on my step out, I decided just because sometimes I just need it for myself to divide up uh, Sue's first step. So it starts off with the orb, and then we do however you want. You know, a squiggly line, double it, right? And then we're going to add a squashed orb to the top. The reason we use the word orb is because a circle contains too much pressure, and so would oval. So it ends up being however you want it. Now, the other thing I decided to do on my version of the step out is to, and Sue kind of did this on hers, but I just made a point to leave it at this, where I'm dividing this up into fourths. So, however you want to do that, great. I love that this one is like totally whimsical. And so I am not, I'm kind of, I probably should slow down with my pen. Uh, but at the same time, it's kind of fun not to, and just, whatever happens happens, and just let it be. So I like to do this because I do have a challenge with randomness, and it helps me is like to decide how I'm going to work. So I divided it up like this, and then I'm just going to work and fill in a section at a time and just go around. However you work, great. And that's also why I like to leave in the because we're going to just fill in as much as you want around, this whole thing. But that's why I like to leave in. Oh, I think I'm going to do. Oh, let me interrupt myself for a moment to say, feel free to use the hollowbow technique. And if you don't know what that is, it is a tangle in and of itself, but it's like this where we draw behind something. So I'm going to have one come this way, like so. And then when you do one line and then you decide. I usually decide after that one. Well, I don't know which way I was thinking, but I think I'm going to go on this side of it to do that. The second line. So that adds some neat interest, just kind of twisting them around and things like that. But so I'm kind of just working. My brain is working in this one area, and if it spreads out a little bit, then great. And if not, great. And I think I'll just add one more here. And there's nothing wrong with going back and filling in later, if you feel like you need to. Another, if you need to put something in somewhere just because it's, the tangle is telling you to do so, do that. All right. And sometimes knowing that I want to do some of these where they're twisting around, sometimes I will start with that so that way it's just, I have it there and it's done, and that helps me sometimes. But what I liked about this tangle was, number one, it gives me an opportunity to practice the randomness and just having fun with it, and not worrying about, oh, well, I must have this line correct and this line straight and this line, this way. It is nice to have that, and just have a tangles that you can just explore and have fun like this. And oh, maybe I'm gonna do, well. Let's see. Yeah, I was thinking I'm gonna do something silly, and that's kind of fun too. Well, maybe I'll do a little one coming up here. And so that's what attracted me to this tangle, because you can just escape in this one for sure. Okay, now I'm feeling like I need to have. Well, no, maybe I'm going to leave that, because the next step, you don't have to have gaps, but it is kind of helpful. And so what Soup did is, and I'm just going to pick this place right here. And sometimes she looked like she had them growing out like of the center, and sometimes it wasn't. It's just wherever you can fit it, great. And if you let's see, and we're gonna get kind of do 4 of this next step. So let me just start it. And again, it's just a wiggly line, kind of contouring, like auraing the overall shape. And then I'm gonna just send it in right here. Okay. So I found a place I could tuck in, kind of come around, keeping it a little bit of a distance from these things that we just made. And then I'm going to aura it. Got right close to the edge there. And then popping right in where we started. And then, we'll do it again. And as I mentioned, sometimes she had it coming out, of the top here. And I don't think it matters. So it's kind of like I'm looking, it's like, okay, where do I want to end it? I think I'll end this one over here. Yeah, that'll be fine. And again, it's the same thing where there's this. Where did I say? Where did I say? Well, it's going to be right here anyway because that's what I'm looking at. And like I said, it's just nice to have this, kind of freedom to create. And again, if you're like me, where that causes a little bit of anxiety, well, it's good to practice it now and again. All right, let's do this one here. And so, and I'm just coming out of this crevice. And again, trying to stay away. That's a nice place right in here, and I can tuck it all the way down. Nice. Now, I do highly recommend take a look at the link where it says for more inspiration. That's where I always put, uh, the originator of the tangle, their information, because it's I don't know, I find it very very important to do that. I always like to give, of course, give credit, which I do, but give reference also, visual reference, so that way you can go and see and explore. This one I'm going to have this one come right out of here, and then we'll end it right in here. Yeah. But do take a look at how Sue did this. You look at her step outs. As I mentioned at the beginning, I I change it up a little bit just for me, but I always try to, make it so that way it's obviously the same tangle, but sometimes I need aids myself, and I have found that people also enjoy those, and it's always good to know. And you know what? Even when this is done, if you, because I'm looking right now, and I'm feeling like I need to put some little ones right in here, just because it seemed like it was kind of open. You can always do that. It's just a neat tangle. So again, do take a look, and she didn't have she had a little bit of shading on there, and here is primarily. Oh, I think she did it. There was a couple ways. So one, and I'm gonna work to not put it over that center. Oh, and that's something too. If like as a, I don't think I need to do it on this one necessarily, but as I was playing, some of them I made the center orb just a little bit bigger, and that seemed to help. Because sometimes it's nice to have like extra contrast. But this one, I'm just bringing it out. This graphite create a little bit of a gradient. Oh yes, yes, yes. Neat, neat, neat. And then I want to put some on the outside. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do, because I did this in my, as I was playing with, actually more with the step out. So here, this is an interesting technique, and you don't have to use the center, but I'm picking up graphite, and actually I'm using what's left on the tortillon, because I don't want to have it too heavy. I was playing around, and I made it. It was just too heavy with one that I played. I'll show you in a minute. And I just didn't. I really, really didn't like it. So then you can go back and add more, and I'm just adding some to the center-ish. Now I don't want to get right into that that center, just because when the ink is still there and it's kind of wet, and then you end up, at least on the Zentangle original tiles, then you end up picking up some of the paper. Oh yes, and see, yeah, and what I was aiming for was just a hint of the shading and not go too crazy. And I'm told, yeah, well, if you've been following me, you know that I try my best to do these all in one take, unless actually the only well, sometimes if I really 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 don't like something, or if I mispronounce somebody's name, or I have something just really really wrong, then I will fix that. And then I have been also trying lately to do an extra something and play around with it, playing around with it on these tiles, so that way I can share that. And there, well, there we go. Let me this light, it'll show up hopefully better when I'm just dimming it so that way you can see the contrast a little bit. I like it not being too heavy around this edge. Now, something else that I could have done, hindsight. Although I will show you on the sample, because, like I said, I'm not ashamed to show things that I don't like so much. Um, this I just well, and then I was messing around. I got this a little bit too dark, and I might as well make the rest of it dark there at that edge. But here, so I decided, well, let me fill in the outside, and I was like, well, okay, I made this a little bit bigger. That helped. Um, and then I decided to add some filling in to the to some of these, squished orbs, and it all kind of helped. And maybe if I finish this up here, it will also help. Eh, it's hard. Well, not So sometimes when you if you don't like something that you do, you sometimes just turn it over, put it away, come back and look at it later with a new set of eyes. This is starting to grow on me a little bit. So part of the problem is this is so small. You want to have natural tile color in there, so that way you can see the shading, and then it will have an effect. This one got a little bit too dark, and that's why I thought, well, I'll just have some fun with it, um, uh, and add some contrast. And so it's not altogether bad, if I do say so myself. But this one I decided to do three, because I was playing. Oh no, one, two, three. Yeah, because I was thinking, oh, kind of like a pansy, or what other ones are that way? Violet. And so that was I was thinking. So we have four, we have three. Could also just, like I said, do some dark shading around this outside, and then maybe bring it in gradually. I don't. The sky's the limit. Could do stripes along the outside. Completely up to you and your imagination. And yeah, but it's a neat tangle. I hope you enjoyed it. I like that it doesn't that it it's one of these that and actually, looking at this nice center, I'm gonna redefine this just a little bit, because when you do the graphite, it kind of, when it gets over things. There we go. Oh, see, that's neat. I like it a little bit bigger, a little bit darker. Yeah, I like it. Okay. That's it. And then I'm thinking, well, let's let it dry a little bit, and then maybe you'll soften that edge with the graphite again, but a little bit more defined and a little larger. I kind of like that. So, um, yeah. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you get me thinking out loud as I'm doing this, right? If you enjoyed it, would love to have a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. And if you like it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. All of those things help me, helps with the algorithm, so that way YouTube will say, oh, these people like this. You might like this as well. And so that helps me out a lot. And in the description section, I mentioned the step out links. Below that, ways to connect with me. So if you do enjoy my style, I am nothing but I just have to be real, because that's how I am. And if you enjoy that, would love to have you join me online for, I do free classes. I have some that are paid. Thursdays, I do 2 sessions where we do something like this, and we'll take it and we just explore it, and everybody has fun with it. And my mom usually joins us, and we just talk through what we're doing. She is more of the artist, um, so we have fun with our different styles, and then it's always amazing to see what everybody creates. If you well on the YouTube channel, if you there are some replays, and so I have a playlist of replays, so you can look for one. I wish I have more of them up. I try to get them up after each class, but sometimes just life gets in the way. But do take a look, and then you can see if you might want to enjoy doing it. Sometimes it's hard to describe. Sometimes you just have to be there. Would love to have you join us. And information is on my website. That link is in the description, as well as if you happen to be on Facebook. I have a great we have a great Tangle Addicts community on there. I would love to have you join us there as well, and that's where people will share the daily tangle, share stuff from the classes. They'll share some other stuff that they do, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really, really beautiful community that we have grown over the last couple years. So, with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.